Hello everyone, Stephen with SG Saber Design, and today we have a KR Sabers Rey Scavenger, and this one has been weathered. I believe this was done by the company that KR works with to get these weathered and wrapped. Everything has been painted to look rusty and old and dirty and sanded down. Just a fabulous job. So today this has been installed with a CFX board for Dustin, and we're going to go over that. It's probably a pretty short video, but we have today a Goth 3 Designs removable chassis installed with our CFX, and I've got it oriented so you can get to that SD card super easy. If you need to get to that, this is not glued in, it'll just pop up, but it's not interfering with the battery. This takes 18650 battery. This is a full-size protected button top, and it has to go in kind of like that, an angle. These kind of fins hold it in, so you can put it in like that and snap it in. We've got a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker and Smuggler's Outpost 6-rail connector PCB. I did not choose to put the kill switch in. Don't really think that's necessary on a CFX. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this goes in. So to install this, the pommel comes off. You just kind of twist a little bit to the left and pull it off. Then this just stays as it is like that. Now you'll notice there is a small O-ring here that provides some pressure against this to kind of hold it all together. This one seems to be a little on the older side. Now watching Kyle's videos, he mentions it's a 1mm by 30, and measuring it, I would say it's 1 by 30 interior and 32 outside. And you could probably order one of those on Amazon, so I would suggest getting one of those and replacing that. It works, but you can tell it's been on there a while. The rubber's kind of getting hard. It's not as grippy. So if we look, we're not going to see anything in here, but there is the other side of the 6-rail PCB is in here, and that is connected to our rotary switch and the mechanism which opens these pedals. And you can see that the weathering is done on the inside and on the blade plug as well. So let's go ahead and put this all together. Now, you notice that this has 2 screws and they both kind of protrude inside. That's what locks into our J-lock right here. And it also, you can see there's 2 channels on there. It doesn't matter which way, but it has to be lined up with those screws. Just go ahead and slide that in until you feel it. You can feel it, and then when it gets all the way in, you can feel there's a little bit of springiness. That's, pushing against those pogo pins that are inside there. And we just slide this over and lock it. And as you can see, it's not loose, but it's not quite as tight as probably a brand new O-ring would make it. So now that we're on there, we can open our pedals, and this is 1 button setup. And the way it's set up is when you get this all the way open, the last millimeter is where it hits the switch. I believe because of the weathering, this doesn't move quite as easy as some I've seen online, but I would call this kind of a 2-handed switch. What I found works the best to make sure that this, because at least with CFX, and Profi is pretty similar, it's all about how long you hit that button. And even though I added a spring over the button to push it back, just the weight of all this makes it kind of touchy on how you hit that button. So you just kind of quick move like that, and it fires up, and you can see in there our PCB is lit up, blade plug looks gorgeous in there. You hear the sound. And to turn it off, same thing, just quick, or a little bit longer. Now, you'll notice we do have one unweathered screw now. Unfortunately, Multiverse Props, that's the company. When they did this, they did everything that was on the Saber, but not the extra parts that they send. And this is a longer screw, and that's what needs to go in it for the install, and that's what hits the switch that's inside there. So that was a brand new screw. I really do not have the ability to weather that. Doesn't look too bad there, but you also notice that we've got 1, 2, 3 screws lined up. Okay, that's how you know this here is your set screw for your blade plug or your blade. So if we open this up a bit and just use a flat head screwdriver, just a little bit of a twist, and out comes our blade plug. And I've just got a test blade. I've already adjusted this in CFX for a 36-inch blade, but if you use CFX much, you know it's not terribly difficult to get in there and adjust the blade length. Or you can go into the config file that's on this SD card, just pop that in your computer, and I believe it's LED strip equals, and just set it to like 144 or something like that for a 36-inch blade. You can do less for a shorter blade. I do not know all of the controls for one button CFX. That seems to be something that they have only fairly recently added, and I couldn't find a whole lot of documentation, but it does work, and I was able to do a lot of things with it. So let's kind of go over some of them real quick. Let's go ahead and fire it up, and I've got this first font defaulted to kind of a yellow for Ray. Quick little touches. You're going to be your blaster a little bit longer and it turns off. So if you want to change font, hold it.
Sound bank selection.
So it says that. And then
Crystal focus.
so we've changed. Now if we want to select that just a little bit longer. And so now we've selected a new font. And if we want to change the color, what we're going to do is it's going to be a hitting the button and twisting to the right. So what I found works the best is kind of hold the ring and then twist the whole thing. And that and when you got what you want, you can turn it back off. So I've adjusted the color on some of these, but you can do whatever you want. It's going to just hold it.
Sound bank selection.
So you get to that,
Crystal focus.
and then it's just
Nebula.
quick.
Nebula.
Gravy.
Revolve. Shadow. The Force Unleashed 2. The Old Republic. Cruise the Old Republic. Malign. The Old Republic. Crucible. The Old Republic. Malign. Shoten. The Old Republic. Malign. Shoten.
Youngling.
This is General Kenobi.
Ancient prophecies.
And then we get into our menu.
Audio player.
Ancient prophecies.
Audio player.
SD card USB access. System menu.
And this is where you would go in and you could change your blade length, volume, all that.
Exit menu.
Nightfall.
And we can the long hold to select something, and there we go. Being crystal focus with a, I guess supposedly a good Deep sleep mode, you don't really need to take that back out, but if you wanted to, you just twist and just be careful and slide it. For some reason, I made a kind of an indent and a notch right here, which if you get in there, it'll turn just a little bit and make it harder to pull out. So just kind of give it a slight twist and it slides right out. If you want to remove the battery, it's pretty tight in there. I found that if you kind of just gently push this a little bit from on the back here, making sure you're not hitting the board, you can pop that and then it has to slide up that way. So that is your Rey Scavenger. One thing I'm going to say right now, let me pull this out, and I chose poorly. There are 4 identical screws up here. And I know it lines up with one of the others. It wasn't that one. So it's got to be this one here. It's easier to tell when this is closed. So there are a bunch of little screws here. On the top, these I haven't had any issues with. Once you open it up, you can see each one of these arms has a screw on each side on the top and a screw on each side on the bottom. And those move. They can't be completely tight because they kind of have to allow the movement as these things fold in and out. Every time you open this, I would check it and look and see if any of the screws are sticking out a bit further and tighten them up. It is not easy. I ended up using like a jeweler's screwdriver. Maybe if you get like an eyeglass kit, or I bought a set of screws and screwdrivers on Amazon that were listed as, I think they called them laptop screws, but I've never seen a laptop with 1.4 millimeter screws, but that's what these are. They're 1.4 by 2 millimeter screws. Some of them are black, some of them are silver. The ones that have come out while I was working on this, I have put just a dab of Loctite on the very tip and then threaded them back in. But I would say about every, if I sat there and opened and closed it a number of times, eventually something would come out for me. So just kind of keep an eye on it. Every time you open it over, as Cal says, open it over a table or a white piece of paper. Because if you hear something go ting and you weren't paying attention, you're going to be ordering more screws. So just something to keep in mind. But I mean, this is just an absolutely beautiful saber with an incredible weathering job on it. Let's back that out just a little bit more. Drop our blade plug in. We can close that back down. Snug that up. So, like I said, I would probably replace this if this was mine. I looked around and it'd be about a week before I could actually get that, and I don't think it's not that big of a deal right now. So, if you put this on without the chassis in there, you can see it's just slightly loose. But once the chassis is in there and it is providing a little bit of pressure with those pogo pins in there, it's not loose at all. But that's that in a nutshell. We will get this in the mail as soon as possible so that you can put this on your display. I would certainly hope you're not going to try and duel with this one. But it is just an absolutely well done piece. And if they ever get more of these in stock, I might be tempted to pick one up myself. As always, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. And I've got something else coming up for you very soon. And if anyone else has any questions about anything I've done or anything you'd like me to do, please reach out. And may the force be with you all, and have a great day. Thank you.